The State Department issues a worldwide travel advisory. What you need to know coming up.
Water chestnuts at a Mame Kung Pao chicken school lunch is about to get elevated, but we got some tough food critics. What you think?
I think it's amazing.
Not only is it spooky season, but it's spider season. Why we're seeing a spike in the number of orb weaver spiders and just how dangerous is their bite.
Does your child know cursive? They're going to have to learn. More on the new law just signed by Governor Newsom.
A record-breaking year bringing underserved students to Balboa Park. What happens when culture and kindness are open to everyone?
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
The U.S. State Department issues a worldwide travel advisory for Americans today amid rising tensions in the Israel-Hamas war. Good evening, I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. The State Department says Americans should use, quote, increased caution when traveling overseas. For more on what that means for you, let's go live to CBS 8's Kirsten Holmes at San Diego International Airport. Kirsten?
Yeah, over the past week, the State Department increased the travel advisory to do not travel for Gaza and Lebanon. The State Department is urging Americans to reconsider travel to Israel. This comes after the State Department made an announcement saying that there's a possibility of terrorism and civil unrest, saying if you're going to places other than these, feel free to travel. Just use increased caution.
Take caution and be on the lookout for increased tensions wherever they might be. And I would encourage any American who's traveling overseas to enroll in our Safe Traveler program so they can get updates about where they are or about conditions wherever they might be.
That's the latest from the State Department on Thursday after it issued a worldwide caution travel advisory citing increased tensions in various locations around the world and the potential for terrorist attacks or violent actions against U.S. citizens and interests.
We saw it with the tourists in Egypt. We've seen the shooting in Belgium. So we've already seen some of that outside of sort of the Middle East, if you will.
Todd Brown retired as the acting assistant secretary for diplomatic security after working for the Department of State for more than 30 years.
We've seen this before, and we've seen oftentimes where the point of violence extends beyond those borders. And so it's a way to advise our citizens globally that, there's the potential for violence and acts of violence and spontaneous acts of violence, almost anywhere. Whether you're traveling to Europe or Africa or even to Asia, what does this mean for my travel? And, it doesn't mean cancel it, but it also might mean, hey, I'm going to be aware of my surroundings. I'm going to be a little extra vigilant, particularly around potential flashpoints of demonstrations.
Joan says her son has been visiting from London to the U.S. for 3 weeks, and it's time for him to go back home, so she's keeping an eye out.
There's so much dis and misinformation out there. You have to rely on the company that's flying you and the State Department information. And then if you're comfortable, go. And if you're not, there'll be another time, even if you've made the plans already.
If you have an international trip planned, the State Department wants you to enroll in the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. That way you can get those important updates. To find that link, you can go to our website, cbs8.com, where we've posted a link on this story. Reporting live for CBS 8, I'm Kirsten Holmes. Back to you.
Thanks, Kirsten. When was the last time the State Department actually issued this type of worldwide warning for Americans?
Okay, so the State Department hasn't issued this type of worldwide warning since August of 2022. That was when there was an airstrike that killed a leader of Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, but it's been a little while.
All right,
Marcella.
Thanks so much, Kirsten. Appreciate that. California Governor Gavin Newsom is headed to Israel tonight for a one-day visit. The governor's office says he plans to be in Israel tomorrow to meet with people impacted by the Hamas attacks and to offer California's support. The state is also sending medical supplies to the region, including provisions for people in the Gaza Strip. Yesterday, Governor Newsom also announced more security funding for places of worship, including $10 million for an increased police presence at places including mosques and synagogues.
A home that looked more like a junkyard than a place someone would live went up in flames in the Lomita neighborhood early this morning. Neighbors believe the homeowner passed away months ago and suspect squatters have been staying inside the house. The home was filled with clutter, and crews found boxes of junk, tires, and trash piled around the property when they arrived. Firefighters say the fire started in a shed and spread underneath the house. They were able to get it under control quickly. without it spreading to other homes. San Diego first responders are getting national recognition for their peer support team, which aims to provide help for any first responder in a mental health crisis. The Meritorious Service Peer Support Team Award recognizes San Diego firefighters, lifeguards, and fire rescue peer support teams, including dispatchers, the civilian workforce, spouses, and retirees.
It's quite the honor that they receive this award, and what they are is the ground level, the first entry point for somebody to reach out and get assistance on any behavioral or any issue that they're having. They're just there to listen and support.
The annual award is given by the Public Safety Peer Support Association.
They may be small, but they have big appetites. For the first time, students from San Diego Unified got a chance to taste and rank what should be cooked up for the school menu.
CBS 8's Abby Black takes a bite out of this new tasting experience.
Elevated school lunches. We've got some tough food critics in the school lunch cafeteria. Roasted apples are on the menu. What do you think?
I like this yogurt a lot because it's refreshing.
There's the taste of Hillcrest, the taste of Third. Now there's the taste of San Diego Unified.
This is a vegan chili, actually.
These food critics are picky.
I don't really like the scones.
But don't underestimate their sophisticated palates.
It's kind of dry.
This is the first year San Diego Unified has invited its customers, the students, to taste test new school lunches.
We want your feedback. We want to hear from you. We want to know if you like it, if you don't like it.
Now they're serving up a new kind of school meal.
Panda Express.
Nut-free cowgirl bread.
It's moist, and I like things that kind of taste like coffee.
Breakfast bites.
Donut and the pancake bites are my favorite.
7th grader Lauren Cease may not be lining up for vegan chili.
I don't really like the healthy options they have.
But once she chews on it.
This one's good. I like it.
Healthy food wasn't appetizing for Trenton Rannon either, but something he could swallow.
This, I'll make an exception. It's spicy and I love it.
This type of feedback is important.
And it's kind of become a best practice in the school food service world.
California was the first state to offer universal meals, which means every child receives a free lunch and their taste buds matter.
The standards for school meals is very different from 20 years ago and many years ago when I was eating in school.
Alicia Patron-Hauser is San Diego Unified's Director of Food and Nutrition and says after the kids rank each dish, they'll tally up the contenders and consider putting them on the menu for next semester.
We work really hard to provide the kids with foods that are culturally relevant, that meet the needs of different dietary either restrictions or preferences.
While the classics remain on the menu.
My favorite school lunch is the pepperoni pizza.
It's got to be the nuggets.
They're adding new flavors to their healthy appetites.
I mean, yeah, if it tastes like this.
In Bay Terrace's Abby Black, CBS 8.
What about you?
Bon appetit.
The best judges. Thanks so much, Abby. Gas prices continue to drop across San Diego County and the U.S. The national average for a gallon of regular unleaded tonight is $3.56. That is down 32 cents from a month ago. Of course, that's not what we're paying here. We're paying a lot more. In San Diego County, the average is $5.67, but that is down a nickel from the $5.72 we were paying yesterday and 26 cents less than what it was a month ago. The decreases keep coming even though oil prices are moving up again. AAA says we could see prices back up at the pump if the fighting in the Middle East spreads.
Spiders are spinning big, scary webs all across San Diego County these days. Experts say because of the wet weather we had this year, there's more vegetation, more little bugs, and therefore more spiders to eat those bugs. CBS 8's Jenny Day joins us with more on the specific spike we're seeing in the orb weaver spider.
I was probably the only person actively looking for spiders today across San Diego County. It was just last night right here in South Park where I saw a very large one now hiding somewhere in these trees, but they spin enormous and incredible webs that can span from your car to your home or from tree to tree. We have learned that they are generally harmless, but ooh, they are creepy to see.
We have more spiders as neighbors than people.
Just in time for Halloween.
The orb weaver, not quite as big as this, but pretty close. 'Tis the season for spiders.
I've actually seen a big uptick in big spiders on our balcony, and we befriended one of them. We even actually gave her a name.
To find out why we're seeing a spike, I went straight to the county's top vector ecologists and learned our recent rain is to blame.
More plants means more bugs, which means more food for the spiders, which means more spiders.
The typical lifespan of an orb weaver spider is about 1 year. Their eggs hatch in the spring, continue to grow all summer, and by this time, spooky season is spider season. They're adults, and so are the size of their webs. You won't see as many once it starts to get colder.
I get questions on these guys almost every year about this time of year, again, because they're more common and readily seeable, and because of the annoyance factor. People like walking to their car in the morning when it's still kind of dark, and then they get a face full of web.
Well, big and scary, the good news is, although they are venomous, they're typically harmless to humans.
The orb weavers have no interest in biting people.
In San Diego, the black and brown widows still reign supreme and are the bites that require medical attention.
They both tend to make their webs more out of sight, in corners, in more harder to reach places. If they're spinning the Charlotte's Web looking type web, then most of the time it's a type of orb weaver. Those bigger ones can go a pretty good distance and really span the length of maybe a 6-foot walkway, no problem.
For many, spiders spark sheer panic, but if you can, spare their life. Those 8 legs are designed for the greater good.
They're catching stuff like mosquitoes and flies and all these other things that you probably didn't want in your yard anyway, so they're really a good thing to have around.
Really, the only advice from the experts to avoid walking into a web is to, of course, put your hand out in front of you so that you feel it first and don't get fully entangled and then spend the rest of the day with the EBGBs. Reporting in South Park, Jenny Day, CBS 8.
I have a friend who loves spiders. She searches for them too.
I don't mind them even a little, except if I'm running and I'm not paying attention and I run into a web. That's the only time that I just really don't enjoy them.
Yeah. Petco Park is going to see a world-class doubleheader next year, which will be the park's 20th anniversary.
Okay, but we're not talking about baseball, even though the Padres made the big announcement today.
On April 13th, 2024, Billy Joel and Sting will play Petco Park.
Tickets for the concert go on sale to the general public October 27th at 10 a.m., but there will be pre-sale opportunities for Citi Card members, Verizon customers, and Sting.com members.
Sting.com, better sign up right now. Coming up, Hollywood A-listers come up with their own plan to end the actors' strike.
Plus, how people who've gone months without work because of the Hollywood strikes are using their talents this Halloween season.
Love to see it. All right, we got the cloud cover that's been rolling in. We've been seeing some reduced visibility closer towards the coast, and yet again, we're expecting dense fog for tonight. All those details ahead.
And do Americans flown out of Israel have to repay the government? Up next, we verify.